Um, anyway, I'm going to actually just turn it over to Mark tonight because he has a couple of guests that he's going to introduce. And just want to thank you again for joining us.
Hey, everybody. So not really guests. We're home cooking tonight. We've got some dear friends that have been in LifeVantage for a season or two now. And what's really fun, having folks like these in your downline, you get to see what's going on. And our rank advancements for the month of November are in, and these guys had a couple. Pro 3's, Anne-Marie DeGrace in Las Vegas, Nevada, as a horse trainer, and funny lady. And I'm looking to see it. Yeah, there you are. I see you on. And I wanted to turn some time over to Anne-Marie just to get some thoughts. And then we've got Colonel Jerry Whistler. That's a full bird colonel to you and me, in Yorktown, Virginia, also Pro 3 with quite a bit of momentum, who helped Dr. McCord rank advance this past month. Not the one you're thinking of, not Joe, but Jennifer as well. So we'll hear from Colonel Whistler here in just a minute. But Anne-Marie, give us a shout. Let us know you're on there, sister. And I would love to turn some early time over to you. You're still muted. I can unmute you.
I found it. Now is it?
Hey, girl.
Is it? Oh, it's working. It's working.
Yeah.
I
Are you outside? Are you?
I am. Yes. I just had finished, and I apologize because my timing did not work.
That's all right. And
Are you back there? Oh, all right. Is it back?
Yeah, you're on.
There. Okay. No, my timing didn't work out quite right. I ended up finishing up at the barn, and I had to pull over into a parking lot. But it's a church parking lot, so I should be okay.
Hey, you want Colonel Whistler to go first and get you to a better place?
No, I'm fine. I'm fine here.
Well, this
is fine. But okay. So I, like Mark said, I had gotten involved with LifeVantage actually through horses, kind of an unconventional way, in the sense of a friend of mine, Rick Hawthorne, introduced Pro Tandem to me. I had no clue even what this was. But I was at the point where I wasn't getting any results from the veterinarian. The horse had some major health issues, and we did everything between the veterinary protocol. We did the homeopathy. We did traditional Chinese medicine. Nothing was working. The only thing that was working was hundreds of dollars were going out of the bank account with no results. He introduced me to this. I did no research. I said, just give it to me. Then I did my research after. So it was kind of a little backwards, where I find, as I present it to other people, they want to know more about it. And I'm like, where are the people that will like me, that just give it to me and I'll just do it? Anyways, I've had other friends of mine with horses at the barn, and they put their horses on it because their horses have different health challenges, see the results, and then they ended up becoming distributors. Actually, one of my distributors, she just made the rank of Pro 2, and I find, just like they say when they're on the stage, when you get them to rank up, then you start to see more work being done by them. So I'm starting to see her, which I'm thrilled, is doing more now than she has before she hit the rank 2 of Pro 2. So that's really good. We have another one of the other girls just had gotten involved with a therapeutic riding program. And we're now into the second month of there is either 8 or 10 horses that are now taking the Pro Tandem, and we're starting to see the volunteers notice the little subtle changes with the horses' behaviors. One of the horses very sensitive to the touch, and now you can be able to touch her a little more and not get the reaction. So, I mean, my conclusion is it has to be the Protandim. That's the only thing that has changed. So we're happy about that. Yesterday I was at one of the functions at the therapeutic program, and I'm starting to hear the volunteers there. When I mentioned something there, oh, is that stuff Lori's using? I said, yes. So I think that's going to give us a better segue into the horse community now that they have a little bit of an idea, maybe now to set up maybe a presentation instead of little dribs and drabs. And that's what we have been doing in the past. It's little dribs and drabs. We kind of like drip on them. But, and then it's like one person's husband has challenges. So it ends up just kind of filtering out from there. But, so I'm starting to see a little bit of progress, because my challenge is I want it to go faster. And it's my challenge for myself is the patience. And that's what's been a huge hurdle for me, because I have to be patient and let people process it and figure it out on their own. But sometimes I don't. Sometimes I tell them what they need. But other than that, that's pretty much where we are. I do have two distributors that have. One has a child with autism, and the other, my other distributor has her husband has stages of Alzheimer's. Plus, she has a daughter with Down syndrome. So what we try to do is, because of that, I don't expect her to be running out and doing so much. So it's like, let us as a team, let's help her. Let's connect. Let's do more of the connecting for her than to leave her out on her own. So. Yeah.
Anne-Marie, I want to brag on you just a minute. Anne-Marie is out there in Las Vegas, and while there have been a few folks in and out of Vegas, there's not really a large LifeVantage presence there. Eric Worre has the network marketing world coming to his doorstep and to your doorstep this week, starting tomorrow. But this is a question I'm going to ask both you and Jerry. Without plugged in local support there in your upline, and I'm just watching what you guys have done, and I think there's a lot of similarity with what you're doing, and historically what leaders like Julie have done, nowhere close to any of her upline. Can you just describe, Anne-Marie, kind of what behaviors you've been doing to grow your business? How have you compensated for the fact that you don't have local support?
What I have tried to do, whether it be right or wrong, is I find Facebook has really been good. I am on a couple other horse pages, and I try, when I see certain situations kind of present themselves, one page is strictly for what's called kissing spine, and it's a major health condition that people are running into with their horses, but I can't very well blast this all over their page. So it's as I see those different posts, I may put, I have found something to help with inflammation for my horses. If you'd like, I could PM you, just shoot you off some info. So we've done things like that, and then I actually ended up with a PC from Australia that way. And now I've got like 2 or 3 people that we're connected with from the UK having challenges with their horses. But I think it all goes back to that. You got to get the relationship. You can't just start right off the bat. I listen to a lot of the different webinars. I think the one of the greatest things is they have the LifeVantage Academy that they're doing online. I found that really, really useful this past month, because you could sign up for it, and you had until Sunday night to watch the whole thing. So that was really, I thought, helpful.
Yeah, I totally agree. And the fact that you can go back and watch it, as you just said, on your schedule, you don't have, for anybody that can't get to an LBA, even if it's where there is a Life Vantage Academy happening in real life as well. Anne Marie, you want to give a plug for building group, kind of where you're getting your input and your sort of your training?
I think I'm losing you a little bit. I didn't get
Sorry.
I didn't get that.
I don't
That's
know
all right.
I don't know if that was my end or your end. I just mentioned building depth, and I see you in a lot of the Facebook social groups quite a bit. Where else training and
I think if I heard you correctly, I know, like with the building depth, we did get there for one of the building depths, because it's in St. George. What is difficult is because I teach my riding lessons are on the weekends, so that becomes difficult to get there. But we did get to one of them, so at least we have that. It's more. Lost the light, but it's more of I think more of like with Facebook on Facebook, between plugging in and then the Life Vantage, the webinars, and just even these these weekly calls, and I try to get people jump on these, and these are great that they're recorded, because then I'm losing the light in the car. But they're great that they're recorded, because then people can go back and listen to them. And I kind of hound my group to say, did you watch it? Did you see it? So do it
well done.
Lovingly, let's say.
Of course. And I appreciate to do tonight for the folks that are on this Zoom, because I realize I did not get an email reminder out. Normally I send that out through Jackie Shepard's office, so her team is included as well. But I find the people that make it a priority just get on anyway. So well done. There's 31. And as a special reward, as a special treat, I just want to go down just a couple of resources for you and give you a sneak peek. A couple of resources that are coming online within this next week or so. So, Anne Marie, we love you. It's a shame we can't see that beautiful red hair, because I know you're posting stuff online for our hair care as well. And thank you so much for making the time, especially working so late out there in Vegas. And we're looking forward to seeing you again in Charleston, sister. We appreciate you.
Okay, thank you. Happy to jump on. Rambling or no rambling, happy to jump on.
No, it's really good. And I want to give a special shout out to your distributor, Kathleen Misak, out there, that just, as you mentioned, hit the rank of Pro 2 in November. Very well done, Kathleen. Very well done, Anne Marie. You have a lot to be proud of. And golly, to do what you've done with nobody there. Las Vegas is your oyster.
Yep. Well, and I tell you, yep. And I have to give the credit to Cheryl North. I mean, I would be lost at sea if it wasn't for Cheryl North reaching down and kind of showing us the way. So we are most grateful for her.
Yep. So Cheryl, for those of you that don't know, is a medical doctor on the West Coast. She is a Pro 5, and I think Cheryl may be qualifying or very close to qualifying for Pro 5 Summit. So shout out. Very well done, sister. Wonderful team here. Let me transition to the other side of the country to my friend, Colonel Jerry Whistler. I met Jerry through my mother-in-law. Glenn and Jackie had gone on a bit of a retreat cruise with Jack Taylor, another family friend, and met Jerry, and ended up in our team. And so that's when Jerry was head of dental residency program out at Scott Air Force Base over on the other side of Missouri. And so we did a few meetings for him, met the family, Priscilla and Allison, Karen and Bryce. They're beautiful kids, amazingly funny, smart kids. If you get a chance, check out the Whistle family social media posts. They're a fun bunch. And fallen in love with this family, but it's pretty cool to have the head of the dental residency program for the United States Air Force as part of your downline. So Jerry comes with no small amount of credibility and brings a lot of validation to the scientific and product side. But Jerry he's done something pretty spectacular. He's building a LifeVantage business on top of his full-time gig, writing reports and mentoring all these future dentists in the U.S. Air Force. So Jerry, a little bit of your story, brother. How did you end up here, and what in the world? I asked Jackie this question a couple weeks ago. How in the world did someone of your training and caliber end up in a network marketing company, for crying out loud? Jerry Whistler.
Great question. Let me just walk a little bit through my career. I graduated from dental school and went into private practice because I knew that's what I wanted to do during Carter. And interest rates were about 19%. And it was about 2 years in, the bank foreclosed on my landlord and closed my building down. And I decided I needed to do something different. And so I joined the United States Public Health Service and went to work for the Federal Bureau of Prisons. And I did that for about 6.5 years. No, let's see. No, it was 8 years altogether, 6.5 years in Lake Placid. And then I decided I wanted to try my hand at private practice again, but decided to do endodontics. So I did root canals as a general dentist in Waco, Texas for almost 10 years. And then I was a general dentist, never did an endodontic residency. And then a real endodontist moved to town and put a hole in my practice. And decided we needed to do something else because we like to eat. And I thought, I've got 8 years invested in federal service, uniform service with public health. And I got a letter from the Air Force, so I called them and they seemed interested in me. And I said that I kind of like to teach. I've been practicing for 20 years or so then. And they put me in a 2-year residency program and then sent me to be the deputy director and then the director of the residency at Scott. And I've been at Langley Air Force Base for the last 2.5 years directing the residency there. I don't direct the residency for the whole Air Force, just my little piece of the pie. I've got 8 residents right out of dental school that we teach. But I will tell you a couple of things about that. I joined the Air Force for the residual income because I knew I had 8 years invested in the public health service and I could do another 12 or so and get my 20-year retirement from the military. It was not the only reason. I obviously wanted to serve in those kind of things and wanted to have the opportunity to teach, but certainly the opportunity to invest 12, 13 more years in so I could have some retirement was attractive. Now, you ask about network marketing, you don't have to invest near 20 years in this before you get a residual income. And so that's attractive. I love that chart that Seth Campbell uses with the 20 years of education and then working for 40 to 50 years so that you can retire at 40 for 50% of the income that you couldn't live on when you were working. And for me, that was about 26 years before I got out of school. And then I've been, in education and continuing ed and learning ever since. So one of the big things is the residual income. That was what attracted me to the Air Force, certainly what attracted me to this. And I think the big part was, we looked at the science behind this and said, this is amazing. I mean, nobody has nutrition products that are validated by Harvard and Virginia Tech and American Heart Association, now the National Institutes of Health, and it just doesn't happen. And now it looks like that we're going to get some studies coming out on the NRF1 activator that may even be as strong or stronger than the NRF2 studies. Just hoping those come out sooner rather than later. We're waiting for Colorado to do their thing. Let's see. I got off on residual income. There was something else I was getting ready to say. I enjoy teaching, and so this is a business of working with people and trying to figure out their needs. And I've been doing some faculty development through the Uniformed Services University of Health Sciences, a medical school that the military runs up in Bethesda, and learning more and more about adult education and how people learn, and that's been really helpful with this as well. I think one of the things is that I'll be 62 in a couple of years, and they'll invite me to go do something else, mandatory retirement age and all that. And so that's my driver to get this thing moving, so that when I retire at 50% of my base pay, which is about 25% of what I'm making now, I won't have to go get a job at a dental school somewhere or try to find a third private practice to get into. So you had another question. What are we doing? This is a relationship business. And so one of the things I do, Anne-Marie was talking about Facebook. And so I got introduced to Facebook a number of years ago, and just to keep track of friends that were around the world. But one of the things I do is just, it pops up and says, so-and-so has a birthday today. And so I go and send them a private message that just says birthday blessings, or, hey, how are you? Or, some kind of a well wish for their birthday. And usually they respond, thanks, and whatever. And sometimes those generate conversations, and sometimes they're like Mark and I have a three-way call after this with a young man that was in a youth group that I worked with when I got out of dental school. So he was a senior in high school, and when I met him, and now he's in his 40s and has 5 kids and an entrepreneur, and he's interested in looking at something else. So you just never know who's gonna come up. We talked about how everybody needs this stuff, so we just have to figure out how they can tell you that they need it bad enough that they want to hear about it. I tell you, Anne-Marie mentioned the virtual LifeVantage Academies. There was one this past Saturday that Jill Pearson did, hosted by Herbert Harris. And because Gabe was in the Netherlands, and I had another contact that was in the Netherlands, but that she didn't end up making it. So looking for an excuse to go to the Netherlands. But anyway, Debbie Krall was one of the speakers on the LVA, and since we're talking about horses, she's a equine physical therapist. I didn't even know that existed. But she works with Olympic horses that, do whatever it is they do in the Olympics with horses. I'm not a horse person at all. I have a few chickens. But she said a couple of things that were really interesting. One is that the science behind our products is so strong, you don't have to lean on testimonies like everybody else. And I thought that was really interesting because we do. We tend to get excited about the testimonials and things when people get excited. But she says the science is so strong. You get on scholar.google.com and do a search for oxidative stress in horses. She says there's about 40,000 articles. So that's really strong. She just reinforced the idea of keeping everything super simple. And so she'll listen to people. And that's one of the things that's really hard for me, is listening. But I'm learning how to listen better. I'm trying how to learn to listen better. But she'll just listen long enough till they give her a complaint. And somebody, as you talk to somebody, they're going to tell you why they need to hear about this. And she'll say, hey, I've got some information you need to know about. And they'll say, what is it? And she'll say, it's something really important. Do you have time? Says, do you get information best by email or text? And then she sends them a link to the video and sets up a time to follow up. And those kind of invites that are just kind of organic, really. And you don't have to get anxious about it. Just like Mark says, don't get weird. So anyway, I'm gonna stop there. I won't. I'll mention Dr. McCord. I was curious. I heard all these people talking about functional medicine, and so I got on the Institute for Functional Medicine website to see if there was anybody in the neighborhood that could tell me about functional medicine, because I didn't really know what that was, and if that was something that dentists could get involved with. And I found Dr. McCord, and she's in the neighborhood, and she was just finishing up her training with the Institute for Functional Medicine. She's a family practice doc in the area. And I said, can we get together and just talk? And so we got together, and she explained to me about functional medicine a little bit. I explained to her why I was interested in LifeVantage and NRF2. And she said, NRF2? She says, I was just reading about that. And so we talked a little bit, and she got interested in really just having access to give it to her patients. And so I think she enrolled in May, thereabouts, April, May, something like that. And she's putting a number of her patients on the product. And she had Pro 2 volume. I'm not sure if her balance was Pro 2 quite, but she's just enrolling people. And that's been exciting. And then just other people we've talked to that get started and move along and hit Pro 3 this last month, and running for, what is it, the hustling for Pro 5 in January. So we're looking for that. So I'll leave it there and let Mark.
Well, I just wanted to touch upon something that both you and Murray mentioned. And as students in network marketing and leaders in LifeVantage now, I think you guys have come to this on your own, and it's pretty cool to watch. But in both instances, you have made this about other people and showing interest in what they're doing. And every single one of those instances, it's opened the door to share your level of interest and what we're doing. And I think that's so much less weird than the way a lot of us come out the gate, locked and loaded, ready to go get somebody. And so I've appreciated that.
Well, it's for me, it's an easy conversation. We start talking about catching up a little bit with somebody that I haven't talked to in a while. And eventually it gets down to, oh, you're retiring in a couple of years. What are you going to do after retirement? So I tell them and say, there's something there that would interest you, great. And if not, awesome. But I'd love to have you involved with our retirement business. So.
Yeah. And I think when you have a lifetime of integrity and credibility, like the Whistlers do, that speaks volume. People are attracted to these guys. Heck, we all are. And I think that's another lesson that we can take away, that law of attraction, that on social media, I think we get it the wrong way around sometimes. We put the caboose right at the front, and we're pushing a product when at the end of the day, people just want to see you. They want to see the authentic you before they're going to do any business with you. They don't want to buy stuff, just because you're selling stuff. They want to know who they're doing business with and why you're doing that business. So, anything else, Jerry, you want to mention before we give our updates?
No, I think that's good. I think we're banging against the bottom of the hour, and you got some things you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, I did want to thank you, brother, for taking the time to jump on. I just hit both these guys with the invitation and said yes graciously. So thank you, Anne Marie. Thank you, Jerry, for being willing to do that. I did want to go through real quick the list of rank advancements I have, and if I miss one, if you're a leader in any of these teams and you know of a rank advancement that I don't mention, please let me know. I know David Meissner posted Carla Joy Clements from Moultrie, Georgia. I think my internet signal is very poor right now. Sorry about my glitching out. Carla Joy, Moultrie, Georgia. Kathleen Mersack, Las Vegas. We just mentioned her. Heather Milne, County Down, Ireland, Northern Ireland. That would be Dr. Paul Horry helping his team there. Well done, Doc. Dr. Jennifer McCord, who we've just mentioned, Pro 2 this past month, Newport News, and Nathaniel McKish in Dallas. I'm assuming it's part of that Stephanie Keisman group. I see that McKish name jumping up. Molly Hall, Tampa, Florida, another David Meissner enrollment. That team is growing. Well done, David. And Cynthia Crowley, Eagle Creek, Oregon, a brand new rank advancement there as well. Some dates I want to let you remind you of. Those of you that have been in any length of time know we're right in the middle of a massive incentive trip qualification period for Ireland. They're different tiers. I was going to say all expenses paid, but there are actually multiple tiers that you can qualify for, some of which are all expenses paid. The other ones are just for the airfare and the registration. One for two for cash. Lots of ways to qualify, rank advancements. And if you have multiple business centers, I will let you know this. We just had this come up today. You can qualify for that trip, not just in BC1, but in BC2 as well. If you have a BC3, you can qualify in BC3. You can only one of those business centers qualify. If you're brand new, ignore everything I'm telling you right now because you don't have multiple business centers yet. You will. Only one business center can qualify. You cannot combine those points, and Business Center 2 and Business Center 3 do not enroll anyone. So you're limited on your ability to maximize the enrollment points portion of the incentive trip, but you can qualify by rank advancing. And so if you want to have that discussion on the side with us, please let us know. Happy to do that. That trip is in August. Put that date on your calendar. It's going to follow immediately the Elite Academy here in Kansas City in June, the end of June. Life Vantage Academy has been promoted on this call fairly substantially. January 19th is the next best date, 9 to 1 on that Saturday. Again, if you are not where you can get in front of that crowd or that presenter in your local market, Life Vantage Academy is now virtual as well. $25 registration will get you a week's worth of replays. That's lifevantageacademy.com. If you're interested in pre-registering for that, I recommend do that. EA Charleston's coming up February 7th through 9th. Pre-registration is still active. That's obviously 2019, February 7th through 9th. And that's kind of the benchmark. If you want to achieve anything in building a business here, you have to be in Charleston. It's just the way it goes. So, if last quarter and March 7th through 9th. Let us know if you're qualifying for Pro 5 Summit. I know we've got some people running for that. And that is all I have. Except for this. Here's your bonus material. Those of you that are stuck on, tonight. I want to mention the 3 Facebook groups that we now have active and the categories we're promoting. Okay, first one, many of you know and love, transformational business. That is primarily a prospecting tool. We've had kind of some mixed stuff. We've got some product stuff, hair care. We've done some recognition and rank advancements on that site. We're going to try to tighten that up to primarily a prospect-friendly page. That means that's a page that you can add someone to that group, and we're going to try to make it super easy to add, then tag them in a post that you find that might be of interest to them. And then you can just message them, and hopefully you've gotten their permission to tag them before you do that, and just message them and say, hey, that tag you in that post let's talk tonight at 7, or when we have a chance to take a look at it. Something like that. It's just prospecting, allowing you to reach beyond just the people in front of you at the coffee table or wherever you're doing your meetings. This is a way to reach virtually, digitally, and do the exact same thing we've been doing since day one. It just allows you to get in front of 1.8 billion people, right? So make sure they are your friend first, friend them on Facebook, and then add them to the LifeTree Transformational Business page. And that will be a prospecting tool for your distributor prospects, people that are looking at a better way, people that are looking for something other than what they're doing right now, or a side hustle. Right. The second page that we're adding is Team LifeTree. This is a brand new page. Actually, we started putting this together back in August, but because we wanted to reserve the launch of Team LifeTree Facebook group to coincide with our website, we've been holding off on it. Well, the time has come. That needs to be populated. So feel free, Team LifeTree, to look for that page. If you can't find it, just private message me. Just say, hey, Mark, I can't find Team LifeTree. Where is it? And I will add you manually to that page. And that will be for rank advancements and words of encouragement for network marketers in LifeVantage, and anecdotal stories, and I don't know, training, team training for distributors. That is a distributor only page, please. Okay, that's Team LifeTree. The next one I'll mention is kind of a hybrid. Julie, I know, has a product page. Biohacking Health has been sort of a go-to site that Seth Mulder, Chris Michael, Seth Campbell, and Trent Lindstrom put together on Facebook. That's Biohacking Health. It's got 11,000 members. You talk about social proof, 11,000 members will do it. Colonel Whistler has had a concurrent website called Biohacking Health Network. Very close, right? The cool thing about having smaller groups is we can control the content a little bit more. Well, and this is letting the cat out of the bag, literally, just because we had this conversation today, and it hasn't even been ratified by our leadership. But I wanted to give you a heads up because you deserve it, because you're on this call. If you join Biohacking Health Network, just send Jerry a request to join that group, and that probably is going to become one of our key, if not the main, at least Team LifeTree product groups that we are going to have. I know Julie's got another one as well. She's working with transition there, and we've been talking about this for many weeks. Julie has been building a fire under yours truly and Krista. So thank you, Julie, for getting us off the center to do that. But I know that there are people tonight on this call that don't even know where to look on Facebook. And so I wanted to give you those 3 pages. Actually, I've just given you 4. Biohacking Health, that's the big one. Biohacking Health Network. And that probably will become something like LifeTree Transformational Health, right? LifeTree Health is taken. We've been kicking around names, but it'll probably be Transformational Health, just because we have a LifeTree Transformational Business page. And just in case you're wondering, LifeTree International is Krista's and my LLC that we operate our LifeVantage business under. And that comes from Scripture. The healing of the nations is in the leaves of the trees. And wisdom is as the healing of the leaves of the trees. There's lots of scriptural reference towards the tree of life and life trees. And when you, here's my story. We're over time, but I think you need to know this. I looked at my graphic tree one day. If you've never done that, it's kind of fascinating. And I was looking at numbers and positions and ranks in my graphic tree. And it was like I got an impression from the Lord who said, you know, those are lives. Those are families. And every single one of those circles represents lives. That is a tree of life. Your graphic tree is literally a tree of life. So don't think of it as dollars. Don't think of it as OV or GV. Think of it as people's lives that we are investing in. And that's where the concept of LifeTree came from. So if you like that name, feel free to use our website. I mean, our social pages. that's just something that we liked and wanted to continue to use. If you don't like it, let us know and we'll change it to something else, right? Because I'm not married to it. It's just significant for us, and I think it conveys what we're trying to achieve by doing this LifeVantage thing. We do have a website. It's almost done. If you wanted to swing by teamlifetree.com, you might be able to take a glimpse of it. It's still in beta. It's rough, but there are some resources on there that you can absolutely use if you're so inclined. I wouldn't share it too widely until it's polished and ready to roll out, but you guys deserve to know that it's there and it's live tonight. So if it's beneficial to you, go ahead and use it. Just give your folks a disclaimer that is still unlaunched and in beta. So we're trying to curate the really valuable resources, especially the video resources that distributors need to share, not just on YouTube, but this is a control site. And as we go along, those playlists will become more contained. You're not sending people to YouTube. They're not giving you auto suggestions on other videos that you're watching. Right now, that is the case. They're going to see other YouTube videos that they can, go off into cyberspace. So you're still not tightly controlling your business when you do that, but we wanted to make sure that we had a one-stop shop for those resources. So I'm over time. Thanks, everybody. Jerry, our call's coming up here in just a minute, so I'll be right back with you. Julie, I'm going to kick it over to you. Anything, sis, you have to add or share? Any thoughts? And then I'll let you close us.
Hey, thanks, Mark. As always, just appreciate hearing from everyone, and just appreciate the heart that our team has. And Mark, what you shared about the graphic tree, that's pretty awesome, because you've taught us from the beginning that, doing this business is not about us, but it's about making a difference and helping others. And I appreciated the sharing. I'm glad people are getting on those virtual LifeVantage academies. I was on Saturday also, and appreciated some of the same things you did, Jerry. And I love how Anne Marie has her niche. And I just want to share that I'm hoping that everyone is aware that the hair launch, the True Science hair launch, the date has been changed from December 11th to December the 17th. So hopefully all of you guys are planning a party for that event, because it's going to be pretty incredible. And this is a great way for us to, again, make a difference, because like I said, it's made a terrific difference in my hair. And, it's going to make a difference in your business as well. We're going to hear more rank advancements at the end of December. So thank you so much for joining us tonight, and look forward to seeing you all next week, and have an awesome week. We love you. Bye for now.